Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking about the psychology of people upset with Walmart bikes and upset with no-name bikes. There's a lot of people in my comments upset about these topics, and I thought instead of just being vague and talking about the haters, I'm going to get down to why I think this problem exists. And there's this BBC documentary I watched years ago. It's called The Century of Self. And it's like 3-4 hours long. I think it's a multi-part thing. But if you watch that, it will fundamentally change the way you see the modern world. The main gist of the documentary is there's this guy, his name's Edward Bernays. And the Industrial Revolution started making products cheaper, better, faster. It was great. And everyone was buying everything they needed. And then once they bought everything they need, they stopped buying stuff. So there was a problem with the manufacturers that they had all these factories. They needed to make more stuff and people needed to buy it. And what Edward Bernays figured out is instead of having people look at stuff as tools, as utilitarian, make them, program them, market to them, make them think it's a desire. Attach emotional connection to the products they are going to buy. And that's the way the world's worked since then. You know, everything you buy has an emotional connection to it, and once you buy it, you've fulfilled some emotional need inside of you. It's been placated, and I'm susceptible to this. We're all have been susceptible to this. But I'm aware of it, and I'm trying to take steps to fight this. So when I see an Ozark Trail bike that's spec by spec as good as a $1,200 bike shop bike, I gotta turn off my Edward Bernays marketing brainwashing, and I gotta say, okay, this is a tool. This would do mountain biking quite well for someone, just as good as the $1,000 bike shop bike. Okay, and that's the point. That's the point. Are we looking at stuff like tools, or are we looking at it with emotions? You know, I said there was a lot of people saying, you got to think about the local bike shop. You have to save these bike shop employees jobs, you know, buy from the local bike shop. I was a local bike shop kid, you know. If you go into a Walmart and just ask a random employee how much money they're making working at Walmart, they are all going to be making more money than the guy working at the bike shop. Even the manager, the owner of the bike shop, he is not making the $250,000 a year that the manager of the Walmart is making. So this idea that there's like, save these jobs, they're not good jobs, you know. As a hobby, it should be good. I think there should be way more co-op bike shops that are more hobby driven and like up front, this is a nonprofit, this isn't a money-making endeavor, because most bike shops, they aren't money-making endeavors. And yeah, so I've committed a life of making less than you make at Walmart. And that's kind of why I started this YouTube channel, is so I could maybe diversify my income a little bit. I have a goal of getting 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you could subscribe or want to, that'd be great. But yeah, let me continue on with this rant. So you have the bike shop industry, and they want you to buy bikes from them. And you've got Walmart, and they're like somewhat indifferent to it. Do they have a marketing budget for these bikes? Do they have a sponsorship team for these bikes? No, the only thing that they have is a crazy low price. And it was funny in the comments, people were saying, you know, the bike shop industry, they have sponsorships, they have marketing, you know, we have sales reps we got to pay. They have billing departments that they got to hassle the bike shops to pay their bills. You know, they have all these things that raise the price of the bikes. And it's like, well, if sponsoring race teams raise the price of the bikes, if doing all these things are raising the prices of the bikes, what is the point of doing the things? Shouldn't the purpose of the company be to provide the cheapest bike possible at the best bike possible at the cheapest price? I feel like that should be the focus, because what are we doing here if that's not the focus? So you have a lot of people saying Walmart is losing money on these bikes. They're losing money on the bikes. They're not making money on them. They're undercutting us. And you got to look at this. Just think about this, okay? This bike, the Ozark Trail Ridge, $598. If you went to a bike shop, it would cost anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200. Okay, the bike shop would be paying wholesale from the manufacturer anywhere from $600 to $750 for the bike. Okay, and that wholesale manufacturer of the bikes, whatever brand it may be, they have way more operational costs compared to Ozark Trail. How many staff are in Bentonville Walmart working on the Ozark Trail brand? I would guess it's less than half a dozen, okay? And they also have less cash flow issues. So a traditional retailer has to bring these in to an American warehouse, and then they have to bring them in to the bike shops, and then they sit in the bike shops for 6 months to a year waiting to sell. These Ozark Trail bikes, the higher end bikes like this, they're doing limited drops, and people are like, they don't know what they're doing. Why are they doing? They're doing these limited drops. They're always selling out. Well, the point is to keep the margins super low and to keep the prices super low. Walmart's only doing little batches because they're immediately selling out, and there's no cash flow issue. They get the cash immediately, and all their distribution is cheaper. So if it costs wholesale $650 to $750, it's very reasonable to think Walmart is paying $500 wholesale for this. And they're selling it to us. They're selling it to the general public for $598 to cover the shipping costs. And they're making good 50 bucks. They're making higher than the stock market average selling you the bike. And that's all that really matters to them. So I don't think Walmart's in the business to lose money and sell things at a loss. You know, maybe milk and eggs or something to get people into the stores. But you don't even need to go to the store to buy these bikes. So why would they be selling them at a loss? And I think that's kind of another funny thing is the bike industry is riddled with loss leaders. You know, you have bike brands pop up every year that are funded by who knows who. The brands never make money. You know, they go out of business. They sell the bikes at half off. Is that a loss leader? No one's criticizing these brands that pop up all the time. No one criticizes the local retiree that has a few million in his retirement fund and has a dream. And he goes out and any bike brand gladly sells him $250,000 worth of bikes, and then he blows them out every year below cost because he can't get rid of them. You know, no one's criticizing that loss leading, because that is actual loss leading, and that has actually hurt my livelihood. When someone with millions of dollars goes in, they decide to open up a bike shop and they provide free bike tune-ups for who knows reason why, that hurts all of us. You know, selling a bike at Walmart's not hurting me. And if your bike shop is focused on quality service, the way things should be, my last name's Smith. I want to be like a blacksmith in the 1700s before the Industrial Revolution. Like, I just made a hammer and I made it great and no one cared that I made it. It was just a good hammer. That's kind of that's my ideal world, is just providing good service, staying in the outdoors. You know, this world is changing. AI, you know, I talked about Edward Bernays and the Industrial Revolution and having to convince people to buy stuff to keep the factories open and to keep people employed. And I feel like we're in a whole nother industrial revolution where the margins on products are completely going to go away. You know, I see these younger kids, the people under the age of like 25, they do not care at all what brand is on the bike, what brand is on their t-shirt. I see them wearing Walmart shirts. They don't care. They're not going to Abercrombie and Fitch and spending $150 on jeans. You know, they literally don't care. And I think it's beautiful. So us older guys and gals that are watching this video, how about we stop caring a little bit. Let's just care a little less about the brands we have. Let's try not to focus our identity on buying stuff. When I buy something and I feel happy about buying it, I tell myself, you're a slave. That's what I tell myself in my brain. I still get happy when I buy stuff, but at least I'm self-aware that I know it's probably not a great thing. So that's my video today. My next video, talking about buying stuff, I'm selling this Niner hardtail. This has been my winter bike, my bad weather bike that I beat up and abuse. I'm selling this, and I have bought the Ozark Trail Ridge Pro, and I'm gonna unbox that and show you what it's about. I'm gonna take the bearings out and see what kind of bearings there are in there. And I'm gonna be riding that all year long as my bad weather bike. So it's gonna be in snowstorms, it's gonna be treated really bad, and I'll be able to give you a really good opinion on it because I've also haven't tried the bikes yet. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. I hope everyone finds peace in their hearts, that they can just accept things for as they are. This is the world we're in. Have a good day, everybody.